waiting for our guest or co-host or whatever you want to call it. I really don't think I have any show and tell. Hello, can you hear me?
I can. You hear me?
Yep.
Am I glitchy?
You look frozen, but you might be all right with the regular people. May know.
One, two, three, four. How's that?
Yeah, you're a little out of sync for me, but that doesn't mean you are for the other people. I can hear you, so we can have a conversation, anyways. That's much better. The sound. I don't know. Whatever you think is best. Well, ask Miss Carpenter if everything looks fine to her.
Miss Carpenter is help. Gets rid of the glare off my glasses. Do you like light on or light off?
I don't know.
I guess light on. It has a glare on my glasses, but it doesn't light me up.
Cool.
I know. How you been, playa?
I'm having trouble hearing you for some reason.
Why don't you turn it up?
That might be good. Yep, that's good. Well, that's what this pre-show is for. It's for getting everything correct. So here we go. 'Tis why we even do this at all.
Tis you. Hi. Gonzalez. Chiari. Merritt. How's that?
You got something all over your face. What is that?
It's a pimple patch.
Nice.
I got a really bad pimple.
Do they make one big enough to put over your mouth?
No, I'm not
Damn.
sure why. Why do you keep saying hi in the chat?
Because two people said hi. Well, one said you and the other said hi.
Yeah. I just say hi verbally.
Oh, well. I mean, I got a keyboard here, might as well do it. Sometimes I don't.
Oh, okay. Well, you're fancy boy.
So we got 6 minutes until we start. Anything you want to say?
Um, I went to work this morning.
Nice. What did you have? Truck?
Yep.
It's nice.
When I got home at 10, I had a nice 2-hour nap. It was awesome. Probably the best sleep I've gotten in a while.
Wow. How's my TV doing over there?
It's there. It's on the table. I'll have to see what next time I get off. I need to look at my schedule for next week.
Hey, Jose. So glad you're here today. Hey, Jose.
Gonzalez. Gonzalez. Get
Yeah,
it?
you should have let me stay with my song.
I was just adding to yours.
Oh.
He said, hi,
Can you
babe.
not hear us, Jose?
I hope so.
Did you get enough sleep after your nap?
I got 2 hours.
All right, you seem a little lethargic.
Well, I was trying to be high energy, and then you told me to put something over my mouth, so.
Well, listen, it's just a joke.
Well, that's where the lethargic comes from. I just start nodding my head after that.
When I'm doing bits, doesn't mean they're real. Like if I
I think
say, "Hey, I was online at the bank today, and guess what happened?" Doesn't mean I was at the bank.
I assume it meant you were at the bank, but whatever.
Thank
Okay,
you,
you can.
Jose.
We're good. Um, the manager was coming in as soon as I was leaving my shift. Everybody says he's a bit scary, so that's why we had to get done really fast today.
You've never seen the manager?
No, this was the district manager. I've seen the manager.
Oh.
Then there's 3 managers in the store that I talk to, that I'm usually paired with or something. Then there's the chick in charge of the Cersei store and this store, and then there's the district manager. So there's like 50 managers. I didn't meet the guy because apparently he only comes sometimes, and he was coming that day, so we had to unload that truck pretty fast. So I was sweating.
Well, at least they know you're a hard worker, right?
They should know that already. Did I tell you I got tomorrow off because I came in Tuesday?
See you
They
next Tuesday.
They said I need to have 2 days off in the week. So they were like, "Hey, you wanna swap these days?" And I'm like, "Okay." And then I did. And then I told you that hero story on the phone that you didn't like, so.
So you're off Saturday and Sunday. Very
No,
nice.
I work Sunday. I
Oh, I
work
don't believe
Sunday.
that for a second.
I never said I didn't work Sunday. I was
Really?
originally supposed to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, off Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then I was supposed to get Tuesday off. So Tuesday and Thursday were supposed to be my days off.
I see. Can we give a God bless Jose? Jose
God bless.
has subscribed. God bless you, Jose.
Huzzah!
It's all about
I will have
you.
I got your Father's Day present.
I told you not to get me a present because you'd given me a lifetime present.
It's nothing to write home about, but I think it's something you'll like. So, there you go. It's not going to be as good as the TV or the framing of the Pet Shop Boys thing, but it's a nice thought. So, what do you think about that?
Well, hard for me to comment until I see it, right? But I do appreciate the
You
gesture.
you
Although I have to say, you don't listen very well.
I don't listen very well?
Yes.
Ah, well, I'm not
You
sure
were
about that.
you were ordered not to do it.
Oh, I never said I was going to listen to that. I actually told you in the moment I said that's not going to happen. So,
I gave you an order, mister. You're
I
gonna
didn't listen.
obey.
I'm Captain Kirk. I had some Captain's wafers while watching this episode today, so I'm ready.
Oh, Charlie boy, he's our new darling.
I didn't love that. I gotta be
Really?
honest. It went on
Well,
for a very long.
Nichelle Nichols wants you to know she's a good singer.
I already knew that. She didn't have to show it for 20 minutes.
Well, in 1966, she wanted to show it.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. But I mean, yeah, a little taster of what I thought. I didn't love this episode, so there you go. There's
Well,
your taste.
I can think of 2 episodes this is derivative of,
Mm-hmm.
but since this one actually aired first, I guess you could say it about the others.
The other ones worked off of this one.
It's
Well, I
ideas that obviously had been circulating around,
Well, this seems like that one story from Twilight Zone. When did that one come out?
right?
With the
It takes
kid who
from
does
that too.
that's what it I think that was first. Twilight Zone was first.
I think so.
I think so. So they were probably inspired by that. That'd be my guess.
Well, since it's time, hello, laser brain.
Hello, Laser Brain.
This is Charlie X.
Woo.
Look at that, Yeoman
There's
Rand, Charlie.
Oh, you remember that. I just remember she was a yeoman. That was it.
Yeoman Rand makes it all the way to the movies.
What is a yeoman?
I think it's like a purser or like, it's more like a butler for the military.
Gotcha.
So, like, if you were on a battleship or something and you were the captain, the
Uh-oh. Did your phone die? Because you just blacked out. I don't even know if you can hear me right now. Well, I guess I'm taking over. Problem is, if his phone comes back, I don't know how he's going to get on the stream since he's the one who invited me. You can hear me? Okay. You have a black screen on your end. I just don't want to leave and it disrupts the whole thing. Now we finally got a flow going. I don't know if it's me or you. Well, that's fun. Love my shirt. I know. I just got this shirt on clearance for $5. And I love Hello Kitty and I like the color palette, so it's great.
"Can you see me
Oh,
now? I have returned from the void."
now I can see you.
I have no idea what that was.
I thought your phone died or something. That's what it felt like.
No, they don't like me talking about Charlie X.
Apparently, I think he just zapped you into the whatever zone.
Right. So, before my phone dies, although it's got plenty of battery, I don't know what's going on today. Let's talk about Star Trek Enterprise Charlie X, which is production order number 8, but I think the 6th shown?
I thought it was the second show.
Couldn't be. We've watched more than 2 episodes, guy.
I know
Oh, I
that,
see
but
what you mean. I see what you mean. You're talking about, air
yeah,
air date.
I
Yeah, you're
am.
right. Listen, I hate the way they did it because it's very confusing to me.
Yeah, that's what we're at. I don't know what episode we're on. I guess whatever the one you just said was.
8. We're on tape Betamax tape 8.
We're on Everybody who watches this on Fandango is on 2.
It's really a Betamax tape.
Wow. I did not watch it on Betamax. What do you think about that?
I think you're a poozer.
I watched it on Vudu, and I think you watched it on Vudu as well.
I did because I didn't know where the disc was. A lot of stuff got moved around, and it's just not. I don't know why I leave everything to the last minute for this. I guess because I want it to be fresh.
I want it to be fresh because even though I just saw it maybe an hour ago, I
Mhm.
still don't remember a lot that happened because it was
Wow.
very long and a lot of stuff happened.
Well, so it starts out with Captain Kirk by himself, which is interesting, in the transporter room.
Yep.
Another ship is meeting the Enterprise. The
Mhm.
captain, and I'm assuming the first officer, and a young, fresh boy appear on the
Seven,
transporter. And
17.
Captain Kirk says something very interesting that I've never heard before. And he says, "All right, I want you to materialize them." I've never
I
heard
didn't
him say
catch
that before. Yeah, he said materialize it, when usually it's just energize.
it must have just like flew right over my head. I'm just like, "Yep, Kirk. Got it."
AC's throwing hearts at us.
Thank you,
Mm,
AC.
mm, 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 mm. By the way, how do you like my baby shark shirt?
I was looking at that. That's a nice shirt.
Thank you for getting it for me.
Yeah. Well, I'm a great guy like that.
So the captain and the first officer of the other ship are acting squirrely,
Yeah, they're
and
kind of something's already up,
right,
you know?
and the young boy is all just kind of like, I guess he's a little intimidated, scared. He doesn't know what's going on.
No, that's not what happened at all. They
Yeah, I think he was in awe. Were you reading his body language?
No, I was looking at that, and I think he just doesn't know how to interact with people because hasn't he been alone on that planet the whole time?
And then the only humans he's seen are the ones in that ship.
Yeah, but we find out at some point that they didn't like him pairing with.
So you bring up a good point because Captain Kirk is saying, "All right, well, you're a cargo ship. You're out here. Do you need any medicine or food?" The guy's like, "Nope, nope, don't need it. Nope. Well, we got
Here's
to
a
go.
kid.
We got to get going."
Yeah, go
And
take this kid to whatever. I don't remember what colony it was, but it's where other people are.
but then I don't know if you noticed, but at that point, Charlie shoots him with the energy juice out of his brain, and they start talking about how great Charlie is.
Yep, that was pretty. That's a good trick.
So now we know that there seems to be a little problem.
He does a lot of weird eye stuff to
Well,
signify he's brain.
right. He kind of does this.
He does that. He makes his eyes roll back sometimes. Maybe if it's like a very powerful or
Yeah.
something. I don't know.
If you if you're disappearing someone, it takes a little more brain energy.
Exactly. You gotta bulge those eyes or throw them behind your head, whatever.
Right.
What?
So Kirk is taking him along, but Yeoman Rand shows up, and Charlie's never seen a girl before.
Yeah, he's like, "Is that a woman?" And Kurt's like, "That's a woman."
And he likes what he sees.
Oh yeah.
And then he orders Yeoman Rand to take Charlie to, I don't know if he's in his sick bay or his quarters or what. I can't remember.
Um, was it his quarters?
Must be his
Wasn't it
quarters
just like
because
the?
they handed Rand some of those weird chips that she's supposed to drop off with the doctor that apparently had his medical records and stuff.
So I think no, because I remember the next scene he went to the doctor's office, so she was probably escorting him to the doctor because he was getting checked out.
Hmm.
Remember that? It was because he'd been on that planet alone. He was like, "How are you living? How are you healthy?" And he was like, "Oh, you figure stuff out."
Yeah. See, I thought it was later, but all right. I thought he went to his room first.
I think it was the doctor's office first, and then he was sort of wandering around the halls or something, and he was
Well,
I don't
wait a
know. He was
minute.
just
While
yeah,
he's in the doctor's office, he keeps asking McCoy, "Do you like me? I want people to like me."
yeah. And he's like, "I don't see why not. You just got here, man."
Right, but the doctor's a little thrown by that. But I
Well,
guess the way he says it or whatever.
he's never been around other people, and he said every teenage kid is like that.
So then we get a very big treat. We're in the mess hall, and Spock has got a funny looking harp.
Yeah, I guess a harp would be the closest thing I can think of to whatever that thing is. The
And we get to see a bunch of Enterprise crew all hanging out and enjoying the harp. And Uhura has to start humming, and he is annoyed
hmm
by that.
yeah, because he wants to just play. But she's like, "Oh, I'm doing it again." Then at some point, he kind of starts playing a tune and making a face at her, like she can come and sing.
He clearly indicates that he's going to play a song that she can sing to because he starts smiling, sort of,
Yeah, he does a
which
little
is
like,
very strange.
yeah, I think he was trying to make peace, you know?
Yeah, but he doesn't smile, remember?
Yeah, he can
So
have
I
his
thought that
fun.
was a little weird. So then that's when you get the Uhura song goofing on Spock and his demonic appearance, according to
hmm
her, which is funny because they're supposed to be enlightened now in the future.
Well, I think she's just goofing around. She was goofing on Spock before, and now she's goofing on this kid.
Well, he seemed annoyed.
Light jesting, yeah. And he makes her go mute as his next trick because it was making him look silly in front of Yeoman, whatever her name is.
But you're right, because Charlie walks in, he's not in there. And she
Yeah.
starts singing about him, and he didn't take that. He don't like it.
I think he made Ahura stop singing, and he made Spock's instrument not work anymore. Like it doesn't make sound
See, I wasn't
because he
sure about that because he was plucking and then maybe he was making sound, maybe not.
he was making faces at Ahura like this ain't working, But
Mm.
nobody to connect it to the kid at least.
But then Charlie starts shining when the attention and focus goes on to him. He starts doing card tricks. Of
Yeah, and
course,
everybody's in.
he's cheating at the tricks because he's got powers. He's changing the cards.
Yep.
It's not even a trick.
I'm
And
sorry. There's a
then
lot. Sorry.
I think at that point, isn't it where we see the captain and Spock playing chess?
Three-dimensional chess.
Right. And again, Captain Kirk wins the chess match against Spock,
Yep, because he has a creative way of playing.
which is strange. Now, it's twice they've played and twice Spock has lost.
I know, that's the fun part. That's probably why he likes playing with him, because he can actually go against him.
So then here's where we get a little more character development. Charlie's going to play chess.
Hmm.
Spock is trying to teach him, but Charlie's like, hey, I don't need to hear it. Let's play, Pops. Starts
Yep.
playing. Spock
And
corrects him. He loses, and then he starts having this little fit, and Spock is aghast and
so,
excuses himself out of the room. And then Charlie somehow melts all the pieces,
yep. He has a temper. He doesn't like to lose. He wants to get everything he wants. That sort of thing.
which I think the point was childish
He's very childish.
because there's never been anybody there to correct his behavior because what he did wherever he was didn't matter.
He was alone and had all these powers and could do whatever he did. You
Right.
know.
Didn't matter. I think we should
So
have
there,
mentioned, and I don't think we did. He was part of a ship crash, and he was the only survivor as a kid,
I
and
said something like that.
somehow survived and had some
Yeah, that
powers.
once again, that's what I said earlier when talking about him going to get his physical.
Mhm.
So we touched on that some.
So after he melts the pieces, the next thing I can remember is Captain Kirk puts him in his quarters to talk to him about the pieces, and of course he denies destroying the pieces.
You're skipping all the yeoman stuff. He's in
Okay,
love
go
with
ahead.
her.
Go ahead.
He he is infatuated. He wants to hang out with her. When she's like, "Oh, I'm on duty," it's no, you need to hang out with me now. Like I'm in love with you. I don't know how old she is, but they constantly mention the age difference being a problem, so it must be big enough, you know? And she tries to introduce him to someone his age, and he's rude and mean to her and was like, "No, I'd rather talk to you because I love you." And she's trying not to hurt his feelings because, he's a kid and temper tantering and whatever. So he tells Kirk, or she tells Kirk about it. And then Kirk has to talk some sense into him and be like, hey, she might not like you, you know? Age difference. Sounds like she doesn't dig you that much. Hey, Fawn's here. And he doesn't like that whatsoever. Not even a little.
Yeah, he has like another. Well, I mean, I thought Kirk did a good job though. He tells him, I said, listen, there's lots of things you can have and lots of things you can't have. And he sort of has a fit about it, but then sort of accepts that.
Yeah, so far the only person he really listens to is Kirk.
Right. Kirk is sort of a father figure. Even the doctor says that.
Was saying that. Yeah, he's like, "He needs you in there." And he's like, "Well," because he doesn't zap him away or anything, or when he does have his fits, Kirk sits there and explains it to him, which usually how it goes. But he's basically telling him, "Slow it down. Likes you, she'll like you. If not, you're just gonna have to deal with it." And he's still a little angry, but he leaves. and then you can take it. Now you can start getting ready. I just think that was a pretty important
Well, and
plot
you
line.
also missed when he was walking down the hall and patted her on the ass.
Yeah, because he saw the other dudes
Right, he was
doing it.
doing dudes and he didn't realize.
And Kirk had to explain it to him that, hey, she don't like that.
Actually, Kirk had a great
Guys, like we
line.
might
I don't know if you remember it. Do you remember his line?
um wasn't it like there you
You got close. It's there's never a right way to hit a woman. We're having another communication problem here because
why?
you like froze and then roboted and
I was just sitting here listening
you
to you,
heard
man.
me say the line. Okay, yep,
Yep,
because you garbled out after that. Yeah, so I thought that was a pretty good line. I
that's a
have to
pretty good
mention
line.
there was a female that
He's got
wrote
some.
this episode. So
Oh, gotcha. But usually guys, because the guys there were just smacking each other playfully, but obviously she didn't dig that, and she didn't have a horrible reaction to that.
so at this point Kirk has decided he's going to be a father figure to him and takes him to the gym.
Yep, and he's trying to show him how to defend himself and how to fall right, and the kid just wants to learn how to
Right,
karate
he wants
chop
to jump
people.
right to the end, which is sort of Karate Kid energy. Karate Kid 1. What did you notice about Kirk and Charlie? I'm not sure what you said there, but what I noticed was there is a special gym outfit, and Kirk is wearing the pants only, and Charlie's wearing the top, but clearly the same suit.
Yeah, but you
No,
didn't hear it.
you garbled out, yeah. Which I thought was funny
Yeah.
because obviously they only made one suit. Yeah, they're saying you froze.
Mhm. Yeah. Oh well,
I
I
believe
said
you.
it. You can
I
just
just thought it
believe
was
me.
funny. Funny little note. So what does Charlie learn?
Okay.
Well, he
What do you mean by
learns
that?
that you're gonna have to start at the beginning, and he really doesn't like when Kirk was throwing him around.
He didn't really learn that, did he?
Well, he accepted that he was gonna have to start at 0 instead of 10, but then when they were doing
No, he
0, he got mad.
yeah, he threw a fit and disappeared one of the guys somebody in front of like Kirk or anybody else.
And the guy was sent away or disappeared because he was laughing at Charlie.
Yeah, he got knocked over or Charlie got knocked over and he doesn't like it when people laugh
Right,
at
so
him.
he bit that guy, but Kirk is watching this whole thing and now realizes he's got a problem. So now this is where the episode starts getting exciting because now we've got a big problem.
Mhm.
What is the problem?
He's getting progressively more unstable and more powerful, and he killed the original.
All right, you're zipping out again. Where you live, I guess everybody's using the internet. So what happens is there there's all of the sudden Kirk is worried about it. He talks to Spock and says, "Listen, we got a problem brewing here." So they're going to start coming up with a plan. But also at this same time, a message is coming through on the bridge, and it's the ship that dropped Charlie off. Charlie realizes this and blows up the ship with, whatever mental gymnastics he can do. And everybody sort of looks like, we think he blew up that ship, even though he pretends not to know. Since our friend is still gone. So you've got that point. Now they're really concerned. I mean, you think they'd be more concerned by now because he disappeared a guy, but now they think he has a mass murderer because he destroyed that ship, which of course he did. But what starts happening is the kid is now feeling like, hey, I mean, the cat's out of the bag. I'm going to start really using my powers, and any little thing I don't like, he's going to uh, deal out some justice. Yeah, I'm getting a very bad connection. I know she's frozen. Hopefully, she knows it. Maybe she's dialing back in. Yeah, it's just me. She's resetting. So now this is where the juice of the story is coming, because how are you going to stop this kid who seems that he has endless amounts of power? There's no way to check him. They try putting him in a brig under a force field. He just makes the whole force field disappear. But now he starts dishing out pain to Captain Kirk. At one point, he breaks Spock's legs, and he says, "Well, I'm still going to need your help until I get to the new colony," which there's a lot more people there. Are you guys getting some storms? I haven't seen any storms, just light rain. But I mean, it changes so fast here, you never know what's going to happen. Here's our friend back. Yeah. So you dipped out a little while. But so I got to the point where Spock's legs were broken
Yep.
and he's punishing Kirk, but he says to Kirk, "Listen, I still need you, so just behave yourself, but I'm going to be running." And it's
Yep.
that point Charlie shows up in Captain Kirk's special uniform. He gets a gold uniform with the big star and the pants,
He
sits in the captain's chair,
like, "Get out of my chair, Charlie."
and he's locked the ship on a course that they cannot change to the new colony where he can take over an entire world. And the Enterprise crew has decided we're going to have to stop him or blow up the ship or something, because we cannot let him get to that colony, because then
Yep.
millions of people are going to suffer under this kid.
Mhm. So, I don't know what makes him figure this out. He just suddenly has, like, an epiphany, like,
It's because a lot of people all of a sudden are not being disappeared.
"Oh, you
And
say it has a while, and that's why." I don't that's still a huge leap in logic, but yeah, whatever.
well, because Charlie is now in charge of the entire ship, and they've noticed he's a little bit slower. He does a lot more threatening, but nothing happens. And
Mhm.
so Kirk postulates that perhaps the more he has to control, the weaker the powers get, because he's burning his motor out.
Exactly.
So Kirk comes up with this great idea of having Spock and McCoy start just hitting buttons on the bridge,
Yep.
which was so cheeseball, and they did it, right in front of him, and it sort of attacks him. He
Work.
tries to stop them, but then that's when Kirk makes his move and grabs him
Yep.
and tackles him to the floor. But then here's where we get to the big reveal. What is the
This
big reveal?
this big reveal just came out of the blue, just saved the day.
Well, they did plant a seed early in the episode, just so you know.
When?
When they said the planet that they found him on, there's a legend that there are people there with great powers.
Oh,
And
I
they
don't even
Yeah,
that.
and they must have helped him survive. They did it early in the episode that so you'd forget about it.
I forgot.
So they show up in one of the coolest spaceships ever.
Ever.
It literally looks like a turd, green turd, and it just goes like this onto the frame. Doot, 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 and it's there.
And
And
then
and then when it leaves, it goes backwards. Doot, doot, doot.
and it this guy, I mean, he's like a hologram kind of thing. It's like shoulders up and it's green and wavy and it's this guy in a human form. It's some old dude. And he's like, "Oh, we fixed everything, by the way."
Except that he couldn't take back the cargo ship. He was too late to save the people on the cargo ship.
Yeah, he fixed everything for the Enterprise, but not for that cargo ship that got exploded.
So, Fawn, I've been insanely busy this week, and there will be no more beta tapes because I have to get the next set. I have to figure out what they are and get them out. So that's why there's been a delay in the beta tapes, but there are more to look at. And because that was happening, I did show a special liar's box. I think it was yesterday the liar's box was. You want
Cool.
you want to know what the liar's box is?
What?
Watch the video. Tom Baker, you know what's funny about Tom Baker being here? I
What?
was just thinking about Tom Baker today.
Well, set in the stars.
The last time I heard from Tom, he was going on a holiday, and that was
Mhm.
several weeks ago. And for some reason, he popped in my head today. So it's good to see you. I'm glad you're all right over there.
Good to see you.
So anyway, whoever these people who gave him the powers say,
Mhm.
listen, we weren't watching him. We didn't notice he slipped out the back door. We're sorry for all the damage. We've taken back everything he's done to your ship, and we are taking him back home. Now, Charlie all of a sudden turns into a little bitch.
And he's like,
He
"Please go with them."
he does not want to go in the worst way and turns into a little kid again
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
and says he won't do it again.
Yeah, very childlike.
But what's strange is Kirk goes, all right, listen, he takes pity on him and goes, is there something you can do? And I think what he's asking him is, can you take his powers away? But apparently he can't.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, he says, listen, we can teach him and he'll learn. And the guy's like, no, he'll
He won't.
use them.
Yep.
And that comes up in a Next Generation episode with somebody with unlimited powers. That
Mm.
sort of idea comes up. And there is another episode of TOS coming up where the solution to that one is similar to what happens here,
Yeah.
where the boss shows up and removes him.
Yeah, which is kind of a cop out in my opinion, but whatever.
Yes, Ricardo Montalban played Khan twice. One in a TOS episode, which we are getting to soon, and
Mhm.
then one in what is considered the best Star Trek movie, Wrath of Khan.
I know
And
that.
I heard somebody say something very interesting the other day. They were talking about how writing Star Trek, for the longest time, they wouldn't let a fan write Star Trek because they said they're too close to it, they're too precious about it,
Mhm.
so we can't have a fan write Star Trek. And then later they started doing it.
Yeah.
And you got Nemesis, which everybody hated.
Yeah.
I thought that was a very interesting point because Nicholas Meyer, who knew nothing about Star Trek, when they hired him, he had to go watch some tapes. And it turns out he made the best one.
Mhm.
So I thought that was pretty good. They were speaking about Star Wars, and the guy that's going to start taking over Star Wars, apparently, he's too close. He's a big fan of Star Wars. And they're like, that's not a good idea.
Mhm.
So that's the point with TOS. I thought I'd drop that in because I just heard about it. But
Yeah.
so literally, the episode ends with the other ship grabbing Charlie because he says he'll use the powers and there's nothing we can do about it. He's terrified. He starts saying, listen, these guys are corporeal or non corporeal, I mean, and they can't touch or feel. They don't, no matter what you say to them, they don't have emotions, they don't care. You're just there bored. Which, if Charlie has unlimited powers, can't he just create a person or bring them down?
This guy's the boss. He gave him the powers in the first place. So,
When you say time machine movie, are you talking about Time After Time? Because that is an all-time great movie.
He said he directed Time After Time.
Yep. Oh, I didn't see that.
Well,
Oh, he directed Time After Time, yes. And, another one of my favorite movies.
yeah, we
Uh,
watched.
Underrated, criminally underrated movies. You wanna hear something? It
What?
might be better than Wrath of Khan.
Well, I need to see Wrath of Khan again, and then I'll watch Time After Time, and then we'll think about it.
Time After Time had the best idea ever. H.G. Wells invents a time machine and Jack the Ripper jumps in it and gets away into our future or whatever it is now, which is 1979 San
Mhm.
Francisco. And he has to chase Jack the Ripper through the streets and put an end to him.
I
A
watched.
fabulous idea.
Yeah,
Yeah, but isn't that a great idea? I don't know who came up with that.
I like that movie.
It's just funny because H.G. Wells was sort of around that time of Jack the Ripper, and you got Jack the Ripper. So they tied that just beautifully. And H.G. Wells had written a real book. He's a real guy who wrote a real book about the time machine.
I
Because
know.
we
Well,
watched that movie too.
I'm an English major, bro.
Oh yes, sir.
Yeah.
So they scoop him up. Mick Jagger was supposed to be the David Warner character. David Warner is world class. Mick Jagger has been in a few movies and he's not great. Check out Free Jack if you want to see some really bad acting. But David Warner is world class. Shakespearean actor, classically trained, did an excellent job in a lot of things. Um, so the resolution is the people who gave the kid the powers, they just snap him up and he sort of does this freeze and I forget what the word he says. And it's sort of just back and forth and back and forth. And then
Mm.
he disappears. And then literally the episode ends. The camera pulls out of them sitting on the bridge and it just goes away.
It's like, yep, I guess that happened.
Problem solved.
Woo!
Yes, the dogs are back. I got to look at the dogs. They were on camera.
How are they?
They were having a good time.
That's good. I like to hear it.
There were 2 bigger ones and then a tiny one.
Yeah, that's fun.
So, do you have anything to add to this episode? Because that's really all I have for Charlie X. Oh, and we haven't even rated it. How many looks do you give this episode?
2.
2. Hmm. I'm thinking just because the guy's got unlimited powers, which is sort of a fun thing where Kirk is sort of put on his heels. Because, it's hard to get one over on Captain Kirk.
Uh,
I'm going to give it an up. I'm going to give it 2.5 funny looks.
I think it gets 2.
Okay.
I didn't love it.
You don't even give a half a dirty look for Uhura's singing?
No, I didn't love the episode. It was the same thing over and over again, and then it finally picked up steam at the end, and then it just ended.
Right, that's weird, yeah, that, like, ran out of time.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, well.
2.
They must have thought it was really good because they bumped it up and, showing it on TV, right?
Yeah, seems like it.
So, what, I forgot to pull up production order,
Why?
so we see what's next. Does it matter if I tell you?
I got you. I mean, I'll listen.
Alright, let's see if I can
I,
find it. I think I should have kept that page.
probably. You can bookmark. It,
Episodes. Maybe I did.
that'd be fun. It'd be smart.
Yeah, here it is.
Woo!
And next week episode is dun dun dun. Wow, we're at number 9. Number 9 production order is Balance of Terror, world class episode. Now, if you didn't like this episode, oh, they say you got lost again.
No, they didn't.
Lost Sarah.
That was
Off.
20 minutes ago.
Oh, is the feed not moving?
No, they're talking in the chat right now. I think you
That's
scrolled
weird. That's what the feed is on my phone.
I think you scrolled up.
Hmm. Maybe I did, even though I didn't touch anything, but okay. Balance of Terror is the episode where we finally see the Romulans and
Oh,
they
yeah, that
do a chase. It's a world-class episode and people will enjoy it. If there's anybody here in the chat right now that doesn't watch these episodes, you will enjoy this episode. It is intelligent, it is suspenseful, and it has a crazy ending.
okay. I
That's all
remember.
I have to say.
It's good.
So, thank you everybody who showed up live. Thank you everybody who's watching this on tape or whatever in the future.
Mhm.
You just can't interact with us. I want to thank the VIP ladies, AC, Fawn. So good to see Tom Baker again. Hopefully, we'll see Tommy tomorrow at 1 for the Garbage album, which I have listened to probably 10 times now.
I've listened to it, like, once or twice.
And I have some thoughts that might interest you.
Okay.
And Jose, our
Yeah.
new friend Jose, who subscribed. Thank you, Jose.
Thank you, Jose.
So I'm going to sign off now. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. Live long and prosper.